The 2021 back-to-school season is different for children of all ages in the midst of Covid-19. And there is one item on the back-to-school list that would have seemed bizarrely out of place just 1 year ago: nose masks. This is the Basic 1 class of the Osu Primary Girls at the Presbyterian Cluster of Schools, and in the midst of the outbreak of Covid-19, the setting of the classroom is now the new normal. Among the Covid protocols, wearing of nose masks is mandatory to keep them safe from the virus and also prevent its spread. After spending almost 30 minutes with the pupils, I realized how restless some of the children were, with adults having a lot of difficulty in its handling and experiencing breathing problems, especially since it must be worn for longer hours. Clearly, the younger ones are likely to have issues. Mrs. Darlene Amufa is the Basic 1 teacher of the Osu Primary Girls at the Presbyterian Cluster of Schools. Now, her role is not only to teach the children, but to also ensure that they adhere to the Covid-19 protocols until they return to the safety of their homes.
They are wearing it, and since they are in P1, they feel uncomfortable in it. Some of them try to remove it. Always we have to caution them, pull it off on, and the rest.
Some children who do not have access to nose masks for its daily use end up using it continuously for days before either throwing it away, or if it is made from fabric, then it is washed. This could possibly put them at risk of falling ill.
Some people will take it off. Some also, you see that the handle has pulled off. So they have to tie it. And even the cloth one, you see them very dirty. So I think it's not good for the children to be in that situation.
Unlike other children whose parents do not ensure how clean their nose masks are, Rebecca Baka, a basic school pupil, tells me that her grandmother takes it upon herself to monitor how she handles her nose mask before she leaves for school.
They have plenty there in our house. They have to wash it so that it will be clean and nice, so they'll iron it and wear it to school.
Most children would love to live a life free of Covid-19, where they could attend classes without covering their noses with masks. But it seems they are gradually adapting to the new normal in these trying times. However, the level of concern is about the longer hours in which these children must wear the masks, how they handle the masks, and how parents should pay attention to the face coverings their children wear to school. In school, wearing a nose mask is one of the Covid-19 protocols which must be strictly adhered to by the staff and all children. However, if a mask is sliding off the nose or constricting the face in any way, then there is a problem. For some children at the Osu Presby Cluster of Schools, this is what happens when they wear nose masks which do not fit properly, and this could possibly make them vulnerable to the coronavirus. The masks are oversized and keeps dropping off their noses when they talk and also move around loosely. Others also manage to tie the hooks around their ears every day just to make them feel comfortable and also tighten them to fit them properly. It is evident that some of the disposable nose masks are washed for reuse by the children. Could this be that parents do not make a conscious effort to check what face coverings their children wear to school? Due to how bad the situation is, the teachers do not want to lose sight of any of them during classes. Beatrice Lamte, the teacher for Nursery 2 of Osu Preschool, said that the oversized nose masks could possibly put the preschoolers at high risk of being infected or increase the spread of Covid-19.
The ones the government brought, some of them are big for the kids. So they bring it to school and they take it off. Teacher, inyamawo, teacher, no die, and all that. And because some of them, theirs are big, so they leave it and the parents give them the disposable. And the disposable ones, too, when they bring it, they tie it. So when you ask, he's like, and all that. So we are pleading with the government to please give us sizable ones, like cute ones for the kids.
According to the school health coordinator at the Koliklote Municipal Education Office, Sinusu, Madam Sarah Boama, parents should make the well-being of their children a priority and listen to their concerns about the face coverings they wear to determine whether there is something about the mask that is causing a problem. She, however, appealed to government to help address the issue of the oversized nose masks that are distributed to schools.
One thing I had observed is some are quite bigger. The cloth, they are quite bigger, especially for the younger ones. So you normally see it sunken, it will be dropping. Then they keep on pulling it up. Some can't even adjust it. After rolling it at the ears, rolling 2, 3, 4, 5 times, still they have to adjust it. So that one too is becoming quite difficult. So I will also plead wherever the masks are coming from, smaller sizes should be done so the children can also have good access to it. It's not easy. They are also not feeling comfortable. I think we went around and you saw it. It's quite big. Even with those in the upper classes, some also have challenges because if the face is not quite broad, to hold the mask, you still have challenges. So the sizes should be reduced, especially adjustments should be made at the ear so it becomes quite shorter where you can pull and have it worn.
Data has shown that wearing a mask can help to save lives. Also, the number of COVID-19 cases could drastically be reduced if everyone wears a mask. And for children who are back in school, it is one of the surest ways to help curb the spread of COVID-19. Therefore, every child in these unusual times deserves to wear a well-fitting, comfortable nose mask to keep safe at all times. The world is in an era where schools are still drawing up plans to ensure that all school children adjust to the realities of COVID-19.
And so you talk about that. Why don't you want to come to school? Madam, because I am sick.
At the Osu Presby cluster of schools, special provisions are in place for early childhood development since children in that category are more vulnerable. Yet, the journey has not been easy for both teaching and non-teaching staff. Now, one of the most difficult classes for teachers to handle during this period are the nursery and kindergarten levels, which have young children between the ages of 2 and 6. At Love Nursery A, the pupils were back in school to meet a new setting with measures to mitigate the transmission of COVID-19. Although the change in routine is quite uncomfortable and unusual for them, they are gradually adapting to the new normal. Instances where nose marks drop, some of them fix them right back. For others, after a while, they take the nose marks off just to catch some breath of fresh air. At the kindergarten level of the Osu Presby cluster of schools, Madam Magdalene Samantha ensures that the children adhere to the COVID-19 protocols. During classes, there is a 1-minute break for these children to apply hand sanitizers and also fix their nose masks properly. Madam Magdalene Samantha said, although it is required that all school children carry along to school hand sanitizers and other essentials to protect themselves from the virus, there are still some children who do not have hand sanitizers in their school bags.
The morning when it comes to class, before classes begin, we do it. And then when they are about to have their snacks, we do it. We wash their hands intermittently.
Greater attention is given to washing hands with soap and running water. Seats are more widely spaced during lunch break.
It's all okay.
The school health coordinator at the Koliklote Municipal Assembly, Madam Sarah Boama, said some of the preschoolers have adapted quite easily to the new normal as they all try to adhere to the COVID protocols. She further added that education among the school children should be intensified in all primary schools.
I was in one of the schools, that's St. Thomas Basic School this morning. We're looking at how best we can arrange the classroom. With the new curriculum, the children are supposed to sit around, but that one too will not help us. So we have to move back to the old way of sitting where we will all face the board. And I was very happy when one little boy, I think Basic 2, just shouted, Madam, look at the girl. She's not wearing the mask properly. So immediately I told them we should all hold on and give the boy a very good clap. At least if we could give these powers to the children, make them feel the virus is deadly and that if there is someone beside you who is not in the mask, it should be seen or it should be we should prompt that person. I think it will be very, very, very good. I was very, very happy.
As authorities strive to put measures in place to prevent the spread of COVID-19, most schools' COVID-19 plan is based on the unique needs of child care programs to prevent the spread and impact of COVID-19 among preschoolers. Also, they continue to work with local public health officials and other early childhood partners to monitor the situation and revise plans when the need arises. Mrs. Sarah Boama is a school health coordinator at the Koliklote Municipal Education Office on the premises of the Osu Presbyterian Cluster of Schools. As a school health coordinator, her duties include seeing to sanitation issues and ensuring that schools in the Koliklote Municipal Assembly adhere to good sanitary standards. Now, with COVID-19 being a major threat in every aspect of our lives, she now runs a schedule-based approach with the management of the schools to ensure that the necessary resources are in place to protect the health and safety of all.
All schools are in full section, and due to that, we have not rest on our shoulders at all, because this time we have the little ones coming to school. We are now on the schedule base, but because I have a double schedule, I will come almost every day. That's sometimes for some weeks, if not thrice a week. When I come, I do my normal routine. That's a normal round monitoring, checking to see if all the Veronica buckets are in place. They have water in there. There is soap, there is tissue papers, rubbish everywhere has been clean or has been collected. Aside that, we move from class to class to sensitize the children on the need for them to wash their hands. We cannot bring all of them together because of the COVID issues. We move from class to class. I normally go around with the girl child. If she's around, I do that with her. If she's not around, I do that alone. Friday, I was at Ernest Bruce Memorial, where I have to go to all the classrooms, check their washrooms to see if everything is in place. I go to Adabraka Presby, and I think that place too, the head teacher did very well when it comes to issue relating to this COVID. I gave a recommendation she get a book to record children who will be moving out if there is any information of the child being sick. And just as I had given the recommendation, the next day when I was there, it was there. She had got the book. If you come complaining sick, they record, write your name, your parent's number, call the parents, see to it that you are taking what out. Wearing of the nose mask is also becoming a problem. They put it on, they take it off. They put it on, they take it off. So here as the big cluster, we normally stand here with the help of other colleagues. Then we will be shouting, wear your nose masks, wear your nose masks. Surprisingly, even the secondary school children, they are also not adhering to it. So we will plead, and that is making the work quite difficult because it's like all the 28 schools, we have to move around, educate them class by class, class by class. It's not easy. Today, I think I did the same thing. I was in most of the schools, especially those here on the cluster. We have to do the education so that they will also get to know that the number is increasing. It is alarming, but although it is alarming and increasing, they need no panic. The only thing you have to do is to mask up, wash your hands, then you are good to go. So once the teachers get to know they can help the children through that way, I think we will be heading towards somewhere.
As I joined Mrs. Boama for her daily COVID-19 sensitization routine at the Osu Presbyterian Cluster of Schools, she tells me that this duty is not as easy as it used to be because the basic schools have reopened, which include the most vulnerable ones, the preschoolers. This was evident when the children were on break, with some still wearing their nose masks, others did not have their face coverings. Another issue of concern is parents who pick up their awards in kindergarten when classes are over. According to her, some parents do not comply with the COVID protocols, so she always advises the teachers to ensure that all parents wear their nose masks and wash their hands thoroughly before picking up the awards. She cautioned school authorities and parents who are not adhering to the public health protocols.
The same thing boils down to the wearing of the masks and washing of hands. At the nursery section, wash your hands. You say, no, I'm okay. I have just used my sanitizer. Meanwhile, you are entering the classroom to pick the child. You wouldn't like to wash your hands. Wear the mask. You said, I'm leaving. I am not staying, I'm leaving. I'm just picking the word and leaving, which is also not good. Once the child sees you wearing it, then the child knows I have to also wear mine. So especially those who come in to pick the awards, they should have the marks on. It's quite difficult here at Osu, but it's going down well with others too. Some community members are really helping. Others too are also trying their best, and we are praying we get there. Now we also found out that some schools do put the soap in the water, which is also not quite good. My attention was drawn to it because I had seen a little girl going close to the drum to collect some of the water to drink. But fortunately, it wasn't having soap in it. So I decided to inform other head teachers, if you are part or if you do that, you don't have to put the soap or the disinfectant directly into the water. Some of these children do fetch the water and drink. So we are advising them they shouldn't have it done.
Maintaining safe school operations in the midst of the raging coronavirus requires effective collaboration of school authorities and parents. However, the school health coordinator, Mrs. Boama, says school authorities should keep records of children with health issues and report immediately when they are noticed. The year 2020 has so far witnessed the coronavirus taking the lives of hundreds of thousands, infecting millions of people, upending the global economy and casting a dark shadow across nations. No country has been spared. No population group remains unscathed. Nobody is immune to its impacts. From the beginning of the COVID-19 outbreak, the United Nations introduced the UN Comprehensive Response to COVID-19 to save lives, protect societies, and recover better. The system hinged on the global health response, life-saving humanitarian assistance to the most vulnerable, established instruments for rapid responses to the socio-economic impact, and a laid-out policy agenda for action on all fronts. According to the UN Deputy Secretary General, Ms. Amina Mohammed, the 3-point United Nations system response are a large-scale, coordinated and comprehensive health response guided by the WHO and its Strategic Preparedness and Response Plan, which aims to mobilize all sectors and communities in the response. Ms. Amina Mohammed said, coming out of this crisis will require compassion and solidarity from societies and governments.
As we come to Ghana, it is a country where unlike the other ones that we have, you're not burdened by a conflict, but you do have the macroeconomic issues are ones that you also have had exacerbated by the impact of COVID. Socioeconomic impacts of the health crisis have been quite severe in many countries, and so therefore really to listen to governments, how they've been able to cope, what are the issues that they want us to take back into the international system, that we can try to amplify and get that global response as is necessary for this global crisis that we have with COVID.
UN system has mobilized its supply chains, assets, expertise and capacities around the world directly to support the COVID-19 response in areas like aviation, education, shipping, tourism, technology, food supply, security, agriculture, and a host of other policy areas such as the welfare of children impacted by the deadly coronavirus. For GBC News Oforiwa Darko reporting.